Now let us start with process costing. Process costing. So what is this chapter about? Okay, as we know different methods of costing, process costing is one of the method of costing. So depending upon the different types of industries, we'll be applying the different types of methods. So where we'll be applying something called as process costing, where output is not erased immediately. There is a sequence of operations, there is a sequence of steps to be performed. Finally, at one point of time, the output emerges. So basically, wherever there is a sequence of operations, there the method of costing which will be applying is something called as process costing. Sequence of operations. Say, take an example of sugar manufacture. So if we go to sugar manufacturing industry, see, generally sugar manufacture, what happens? The raw material for sugar manufacture is nothing but your sugar cane. So we'll be taking the sugar cane. Once the sugar cane is purchased, this sugar cane is the primary raw material for manufacturing of sugar. So what we'll do with the sugar cane? First process, the sugar cane will be introduced in the machine. Sugar cane will be crushed. We'll be crushing the sugar cane. So ultimately the sugar cane will be crushed. Then what happens? Once the sugar cane is crushed, then we'll be getting something called as molasses. So the first process is nothing but taking sugar cane, crushing that, getting some product called as molasses. Then the output of the first process is molasses. The molasses will be taken to the next process. There will be doing some sort of heating, there will be doing some sort of cooling. Then ultimately we will be getting finally some sort of sugar. Then the next process is what? Refining. The sugar which is produced has to be refined. Then once the sugar is refined, then ultimately what is your next process? Packing. So where the output of one process passes to the other process, and there is a sequence of operations performed at every stage, there will be applying something called as process costing. Let us take another example. Furniture industry. So if we take an example of furniture industry, let us see. So in the furniture industry, what happens? We'll be taking wooden logs. So what we are doing? We are taking the big wooden logs. The big wooden logs is the first process broken up into small logs. So earlier you are having a bigger wooden log. In the first process, what you are doing? Cutting that wooden log into small logs. That's what is the first process. Then what you are doing? This small wooden log is going to the next process. In the next process, what happens? You are shaping this wooden log. So shaping of the wooden logs is happening. The wooden logs is shaped into the furniture. Then what? Then painting is the next operation. We will be putting some sort of paints. Then cushioning. We need to give some sort of cushions to the giving some sort of cushions to the furniture which had manufactured. So cushion, I need to attach some sort of cushion. Then finally we need to do some sort of decorating. Then finally we'll be doing some sort of packing. So each and every stage, what is happening? The wooden log is the output. Output of one process becomes the input of the second process. So what you are doing? The wooden log you had given to here. This wooden log, bigger wooden log, is broken up into small logs. So that is the input of this process is what? Wooden log. So ultimately you are getting an output. What is the output? The output is nothing but something called as the small logs which you are taking that to the next process. There the smaller logs is shaped into the different types of furniture which you are doing. So ultimately the different types of shaped furniture is an output of this process. That is going to the painting department or the painting process, where the shaped furnitures will be painted. then ultimately the output of this painting department or operation will be sending to the next department, where you are attaching different types of cushion. So different models of cushion will be attached. Then finally the output of this will be sent to the next process. Then finally that's what. So the outcome of your process costing is what? The output of one operation. So output of one process. Output of one process becomes input. Output of one process becomes input of subsequent process. That's what is the primary feature of your process costing. Output of one process becomes the input of the subsequent process. Basically, this chapter can be broken up into 3 different segments. Now, before getting into process account, etc., let us try to understand few basics there. Process costing. Now we know which industry we are going to apply process costing. Which industry? Where the output is not erased at one single operation, where the output is not erased at one single process, there will be applying something called as our process costing method. Such as sugar manufacture, such as furniture manufacture, even oil manufacture. Say, take an example of oil manufacture, say groundnut oil. You are purchasing groundnuts, you are crushing groundnuts, you are heating groundnuts, you are cooling groundnuts, you are refining groundnuts, you are adding some sort of dehydrant agent. So ultimately there you are again cooling, you are again packing. So that's what is the process which you are doing in the oil manufacturing industry. So wherever there is a sequence of operations, sequence of process where output is not produced in one single stage, there the method of costing is going to be said to be called as process costing. That's what is the basic background which I have discussed. And one important point is what? Output of one process becomes the input of the subsequent process. Now, as I said, this chapter is broken up into 3 different segments. Now let us try to understand what are those. First segment is simply process account. We need to prepare process account. We need to understand something called as loss. Okay, we need to understand something called as loss. Whenever we use the word loss, there will be generally 2 types of loss. One is something called as a normal loss. Second one is something called as your abnormal loss. So these are the 2 different types of losses you will be having. And in some cases you may also have something called as gain, which is generally abnormal gain. I will come back to this. We will discuss all these things in detail. This is what is the first part of the chapter. Then if we move on to the second part, the second part is very important, which is focusing purely on something called as valuation of work in progress. So second part of the chapter is very important, which is something called as valuation of work in progress. My major focus in process costing will be on the valuation of work in progress, because from the examination point of view this is very important. So in this, what we will do, we'll discuss something called as equivalent production. We'll discuss something called as equivalent production. What is the meaning of equivalent production? That we'll discuss. Not now, step by step. Once I finish off the first part, I will move on to the second part. In the second part, we'll try to discuss something called as equivalent production, methods of equivalent production. We are having different methods of equivalent production. It's very simple. If you understand the concept, this becomes very simple. Now there are different methods: LIFO method, FIFO method, average method. So in this method, what are the different set of statements we are supposed to prepare? So what I will do, I will explain all the 3 methods. Then one problem I will do in all the 3 methods. One problem I will do in FIFO method, the same problem I will do in the average method, the same problem I will do in the LIFO method. There you can have a clear understanding of what is the difference between application of all the sort of methods. That's what is something called as a valuation of your work in progress. Now the last one is something called as inter-process profit. The last one is what? Inter-process profit. So it's nothing but your inter-process profit. What is the meaning of inter-process profit? When I send the goods, say the output of one process becomes the input of subsequent process. When the output is sent to next process, you will be adding an element of profit. You are trying to earn a profit with yourself. That is something called as inter-process profit. We need to eliminate the element of profit to determine the cost. So there we'll discuss how do we focus on the second part of the chapter, third part of the chapter. Now let us first initially focus on what is your process account, what is the meaning of normal loss, what is the meaning of abnormal loss. Already we have discussed the cost accounting treatment of normal loss, cost accounting treatment of abnormal loss. Even if you remember, I had also discussed how do we do the cost accounting treatment of the abnormal loss as well as abnormal gain. So directly what I am doing, I am trying to take an example with the help of a problem. There I will again explain how do we handle the normal loss as well as the abnormal loss. Now before that, let us see how do we prepare process account. Process account. Let us see how do we prepare your process account. Now debit, credit, particulars. We need to also have something called as units and amount. Okay, these are the three columns which I have to maintain in the debit side. Same three columns I should also have in the credit side. Now okay, particulars, units, amount in rupees. So that's what is the three columns which you are supposed to have. Now right, so now what are the debits? Say simply fundamentally whatever expenses you incur will be debit. Credits will be only few. What? As I said, output of one process, output of one process, okay, output of one process becomes input of subsequent process. So one process output will become the input of subsequent process. That's what is the fundamental we should always remember throughout the process costing. Now let me take a small example. It's not a problem, it's a small example. Let us first try to understand. Say you are purchasing 100 kgs of wood. What is wood? Direct material. So we are purchasing wood and I am calling that as direct material. As I said, expenses should be debited. Generally in process costing, what sort of expense will be incurring? Will be incurring material. See, I am using the word material, that means direct material as well as indirect material. Plus we will be incurring something called as labor. See, labor also includes direct, indirect. Plus we will be incurring some sort of overheads. So whatever direct material, whatever indirect material incurred for production is the expenses which I should debit to my process account. So ultimately direct material, in the example I am considering that I am going to buy 100 kgs of wood. 100 kgs of wood was purchased. Now let us consider you are purchasing 1 kg of wood at 150 rupees. So 1 kg of wood is 150. So ultimately what? 150 into 100. 150 into 100, that is going to give me my direct material cost. So what it will be? It will be 15,000. Okay, 150 into 100 is going to give you your direct material cost as 15,000. Then what? You are incurring some labor cost, 2 labor cost. Say suppose you are paying them a wages of 10,000 rupees. Okay, for the entire operation, for the entire process, the wages paid to them is going to be 10,000 rupees. Then you are also having something called as overheads. Two overheads. Let us consider the overhead cost is to be 15,000. Now this is nothing but something called as your debit side. Okay, this is nothing but your debit side. Now let us move on to the other side. Now on the other side, on the credit side, what I should have? I should have only three things: buy, loss. I mean by something called as normal loss. You may be having something called as normal loss. I will come to this. You may be having something called as buy, abnormal loss. You may be having something called as buy closing stock. Buy closing stock. That means the entire thing is not finished. Buy something called as work in progress. You may be having something called as work in progress. Initially I am not getting into that because that's what is something called as was second part. See, if you remember here I had mentioned second thing, which is nothing but valuation of your work in progress. That's what is the second part. So initially I am not going into that. So ultimately what I have to consider there, I have to consider something called as finished, I mean by transfer to next process. Because what is the meaning of process costing? The process costing we had already discussed. Output of one process becomes the input of next process. So ultimately if I call this as your process 1 account, so if I call this as what? Process 1. So ultimately I need to transfer this to where? Next process by process 2. I need to send this to process 2 account. Now let us see what is the meaning of normal loss, what is the meaning of abnormal loss, what is the cost accounting treatment of your abnormal loss. Clear? Now normal loss, let me give a definition for the normal loss. Okay, now normal loss, what is the meaning of normal loss? Normal loss is something unavoidable. I cannot avoid my normal loss. How much care you take, this loss cannot be avoided. That will be something called as your unavoidable, which is something called as your normal loss. Now what is something called as your abnormal loss? Abnormal loss is something which can be avoidable. So I can simply call my abnormal loss as avoidable loss. The loss which cannot be avoided is something called as your normal loss. Loss which can be avoided by taking a proper care is said to be called as your abnormal loss. Always in costing any sort of abnormal, what I should do? Simply send that to something called as your costing, profit and loss account. So what I should do? Whatever abnormal loss I have, I should send that to where? Costing, profit and loss account. I should transfer that to costing, profit and loss account. How and what much amount, that we'll discuss now. Okay, let us consider of your input 10% is going to be something called as your normal loss. Now 10% of the input. What is my input? My input was 100. Of 100, 10% means what? 10. So ultimately if I introduce 100, 10 will automatically go into loss. Say you are having a wood. So once the wood is there, once the wood is cut, the wood will be turned out into powder. That wooden powder is something called as waste, so which cannot be avoided. That's what is something called as per normal loss. So ultimately how much you should get? So you are introducing 100 kgs, 10 kgs is lost. So ideally you should get an output of 90. But what you are getting? You are getting an output of 85. That means what? 5 kgs is extra lost. See, unavoidable. 10 kgs, how you take care, how much scientific equipment you use, 10 kgs loss is compulsory. But now what is your loss? 100 minus 85. 100 kgs was your input, output is 85, your loss is what? 15. So you got a loss of 15. Of the 15, 10 is normal, then what is 5? 5 is something called as were abnormal. So 5 kgs is you are losing abnormally. That's what is something called as avoidable, but happened due to some sort of wrong practices which you are doing or some other aspects. So that's what is something called as were abnormal loss. Again, 100 kgs was introduced, you got an output of 85, that means your loss is what? 15, but you should lose only 10, you lose 5 kgs extra. That 5 kgs is extra which you could have avoided. That's the reason you are calling that as what? Abnormal loss. Now the important question is, how do I value these 5 kgs? That's what is the most important part we need to understand. Valuation of your abnormal loss. Now I am getting into something called as valuation of your abnormal loss. Then we'll discuss the same example for abnormal gain. Okay, let us see valuation of abnormal loss. How do we do the valuation of your abnormal loss? Let us try to understand. Now in the above example, I need to add one more thing for you. The normal loss in some cases may be sold. Say you are getting wooden powder. Whenever you are getting a wooden powder, the wooden powder can be sold as a scrap. You may recover. See, not all the cases. Normal loss in some cases in some cases, normal loss in some cases can be realized as scrap. Okay, what we can do? Normal loss in some cases can be realized as scrap, not in all the cases. Say for example, petrol or diesel or kerosene. You are having a petrol in a container. The petrol will be having a tendency to evaporate. 5 kgs or 10 kgs of petrol has been evaporated. There, whatever petrol is evaporated, that you cannot sell. That's purely a loss. There won't be any sort of realizable value. But in the example which I had taken, the wooden powder can be sold. The wooden powder is able to realize some sort of value. So that's what is something called as realizable value. If realizable value is given in the problem, I had to multiply the number of units of my normal loss with the realizable value. So suppose in the example, 1 kg of wooden powder can be sold at 20 rupees per kg. Say wooden log you had purchased for 100 rupees. The wooden powder you are selling at 20 rupees. So ultimately how many kgs you are having? 10 kgs. 10 into 20 is nothing but what? 200. So this gives you something called as what? 200. That's what is something called as what? Normal loss. Now let us see. Okay, I am removing this here and writing it down. Okay, let me write it down somewhere. Okay, so what is the thing we have written there? Normal loss in some cases can be realized. So you can realize the normal loss. Realize. That means whatever normal loss is produced, that normal loss can be sold and you can recover some money. That's what is something called as realization of your normal loss. Now let us go to the next page. Valuation of your normal loss. So in the case of your valuation of your normal loss, I need to do the step 1. What is my step 1? Total expenses. Total of my expenses, which is nothing but your material, labor plus overheads. So direct material plus labor plus overheads, 15,000 plus 10,000, 25,000. 25,000 plus 15,000, that gives you 40,000. So here what we are doing, the step number 1 is nothing but your total expenses which is nothing but your three elements: material, labor, overheads. The total in the present taken example is nothing but 40,000 is nothing but your step number 1. Now step number 2, we need to move on to the step number 2. So we got the step number 1. Step number 2 is what? Take the realizable value of your normal loss. Take the realizable value of your normal loss. So realizable value of normal loss. In some cases it could be 0. Wherever your normal loss could be sold, then you will be having something called as realizable value of your normal loss. In the present example, your normal loss is what? 10 kgs. 1 kg of the wooden powder can be sold at 20 rupees. So ultimately what you are getting there? You are getting something called as 200 rupees is nothing but something called as was step number 2. See, again, step number 1 is very simple. Do the total of your expenses, that is coming to 40,000. Step number 2 is also very simple. Take the realizable value of your normal loss, you are getting something. Then you will do something called as was step number 3. Step number 3 is also again very simple. Step 1 divide minus step 2. Step 1 is nothing but 40,000. Step 2 is nothing but 20,000. The difference is what? 39,800 is nothing but the difference. So step 1 minus step 2 is something called as was step number 3. Again, step number 1, total of your expenses. Step number 2, realizable value of your normal loss. Realizable value, if it is given in the problem, then only it will be there. If no realizable value is there, we will consider in the place of this 0. Then ultimately step number 1 minus step number 2 remains the same. Then you will be arriving at something called as was step number 3. Then go to step number 4. What is step number 4? Total units on debit side. So whatever units you are having on the debit side, we need to add that. So in the present example, how many units you are having? Only the input 100 kgs was added. So ultimately my step number 4 remains very easy. I will consider it as what? 100. Done with my step number 4. Then I will be going to something called as step number 5, which is very simple. Normal loss units. So if you remember, if you carefully observe here, step number 2, step number 3, we are focusing on cost. Step number 4, step number 5, as well as step number 6, which is nothing but your next step, we are focusing on units. Clear? 3 steps you are focusing on cost, 3 steps you are focusing on units. So in the present case, what is my normal loss? 10% of my input, which is nothing but 10. So ultimately I will be going to my next step, which is nothing but step 4 minus something called as step 5. Step 4 minus step 5, which I will do. Step 4 is 100, step 5 is 10. 100 minus 10, the difference gives me 90. So 90 kgs is something called as my step number 6. Now we'll be entering into your last step. Rather, 2 more steps are there. Step number 7. So if we look into step number 7, which is very simple, what we are trying to do, we are trying to divide step 3 with step 6. Okay, step 3 divided by step 6. What is my step 3? My step 3 is nothing but 39,800. That I should divide with something called as 90 kgs. 39,800 rupees divided by 990 kgs is going to give me my cost per kg, or valuation of your abnormal loss per kg. So what we are getting at the step number 6, we are trying to determine the cost per kg. Now let us take the calculator, let us try to do 39,800 divided by 90. Let us see. 39,800 divided by 90 is going to give you roughly 442.22. That's what is the total which will be getting. Now that's what is nothing but your step number 7. Now step number 8. What is your step number 8? Step 7. What is your step number 7? Cost per kg into abnormal loss in kgs. So now step 7, 442.22 into what is your abnormal loss? 5 kgs. Abnormal loss is nothing but 5 kgs is your abnormal loss. Now if I multiply this with 5, let us see. 442.22 into 5 kgs is going to give you 2211.11. So ignore the fractions. So ultimately if I go back here, I can clearly take the value as what? 2211 as the value of my abnormal loss. Now if I close this account, I'll be having some balancing figure. That balancing figure is something which will be transferred to the next process, or simply 85 into again the same thing. If you do 85, that will also give you the same thing, because as is you are having a fraction, will not get the exact balancing figure, you need to take the round off. 85 into what is the value there? 85 into 442.22. so 85 into 442.22. let us see how much you will get. 85 kgs is the balancing figure, 85 kgs is the output, into 442.22, that gives you roughly 37,588.88. so ultimately I can round off to 37,589. Ideally you should get the same thing as your balancing figure, but you won't get a fractional difference will be there, because it is not exactly 0.22 and it is not exactly 2211. You are having some rounding off. Now let us see what is the balancing figure you get. We know this total. What is this total? This total is going to be something called as 40,000. This total we know is going to be something called as 100. Now even this total is something called as 100. Now let us try to do the balancing figure. 40,000 minus 200 minus 2211 gives you 37,589. so even this is also 37,589. but in some cases you may be getting a fractional difference due to the rounding of issues. Clear? So this is the basis of preparation of your process account, and this is the base of calculating of your abnormal loss. Now let us try to see how do we prepare abnormal loss account. Clear? Now let us go to the next page. Okay, now let us try to understand abnormal loss account. So if you remember, already I had explained clearly all these topics when we are covering the materials. Again I am doing this for your revision part. Okay, so now let us try to see how do we prepare your abnormal loss account. Let us see what we have to do. Whatever account you are having, particulars is one column I should have, units is the other column I have to have, amount is the other column, so is nothing but entire thing is nothing but your debit. Same thing I should have on the credit side, particulars, units in kgs, amount in rupees, this is nothing but your credit side. Now this is nothing but your abnormal loss account. Now this is nothing but your abnormal loss account. Let us move on to the process account once again. In process account, what we have done? By abnormal loss. In process account, you are putting that as by abnormal loss. That means what is the entry you had passed? What is the accounting entry you had passed there? It's nothing but abnormal loss account was debited, process account was credited. That's what is the entry. So ultimately here, as you are crediting the process account, I have debit my abnormal loss account. So ultimately to what? Process. Which process was that? Process 1. How many units were your abnormal loss? 5 units was your abnormal loss. What were the value you had calculated for your abnormal loss? 2221. Sorry, 211. 2211 is nothing but the value which you are getting. Now, as I am able to sell these 5 cages at some rupees, I am getting some money. So what I need to do? See, if you remember here, one point I had mentioned. Let us go back. Abnormal loss should be transferred to something called as work costing profit and loss account, not the entire value, not your entire loss, because these 5 cages can be sold at 20 rupees. So ultimately 5 cages, if I sell at 20 rupees, I will be getting 100 rupees. Now in that case, as I am able to recover some money, my entire loss should not be this 2211. My loss should be reduced with the amount of recovery. So that's what we are trying to do it here. So now when you are able to sell, you are getting cash, then what entry will pass? By bank. How much you are getting? 5 cages you are selling, each kg at 20 rupees. So ultimately 5 cages into 20, you are able to recover 100. Now what is the balancing figure you have? The balancing figure you have is something 2111. 2111 is nothing but the balancing figure you have. What is this? This should be sent to costing, profit and loss account. So ultimately if I close the account, the total is what? 5 here, 2211 is the total. Same case on the credit side, 2211 is the totals. So with this, your abnormal loss account is totally closed. So this is the way of calculation of your abnormal loss, and this is the cost accounting treatment of your abnormal loss. Now in this, if we again go to the first part of the chapter, what was your first part? Now we know what is the process costing, which industry the process costing is applicable, and we know how do we prepare process account. We know what is the meaning of your normal loss, what is the cost accounting treatment of your normal loss. We know what is the meaning of your abnormal loss, and we know what is the cost accounting treatment of your abnormal loss. Now let us try to discuss something called as your abnormal gain. Let me extend the same example. Process 2. Say what happened? You had taken some material, that material was processed and 85 kgs was sent to something called as your process 2 account. Now let me extend this example to process 2 account. Now let us continue the same example here. Process 2 account. Process 2 account. Let us prepare the account here first. Particulars, amount, no, particulars, units, then amount. Particulars, units in kgs, amount in rupees. That's what is nothing but your debit side. Credit side also I should have the same columns. Particulars, units in kgs, amount in rupees. So these are the 3 columns, total 6 columns we should always maintain in your process account, whether it is process 1, process 2 or it is process 3. Now let us try to start with your process 2 account. Right now, if we go to the first basic fundamental of your process costing, I had mentioned this point now several times. Now let us see what is that. Output of one process becomes input of subsequent process. Output of process 1 becomes the input of process 2. What is the output of process 1? 85 kgs. Now so ultimately if I go to process 2 account, what I will consider? To process 1. because I am getting an input from process 1. Output of one process becomes the input of subsequent process. What is that? Again I am writing here, output of process, one process, output of one process becomes input of subsequent process. That's what is the fundamental which will be applicable throughout your process costing. So 85 kgs was the output. We had already calculated the value of this 85 kgs. The value of this 85 kgs is what? 37,000 something. Let us see. The value of this output is 37,589. Let us come here, 37,589. Let us see. So 37,589 is the value which I have to consider. Now, not only that, I may be also having some sort of raw material here. I may be purchasing some sort of material even in the next process. Say suppose I had again purchased 100 kgs of some raw material for using that in process 2. Let us consider what you had done. 100 kgs of raw material you had purchased at 50 rupees per kg. Now what is your direct material cost here? Your direct material cost is now becoming 5,000 rupees, is nothing but your direct material cost. Not only this, you are incurring some sort of labor cost. So now let us consider the labor charges even here is going to be 10,000 rupees. You are also incurring some sort of overheads. Let us consider the overhead charges is 17,000 rupees, is nothing but your overhead charges. Then by what you will be having on the credit side, always only three things there. By normal loss, you may be having abnormal loss, you will be definitely having, either you will be sending that to next process or you will be having a finished goods. Let us consider in this problem only two processes are there. By finished goods, I will call this as what? Finished goods. Now as usual, let us consider normal loss even in this process is 10% of my input. In this problem, what is my input? My input already I am having from the previous process 85. In this process I had added 100 kgs. So my total input is what? 185 kgs. For our convenience, let me round this off. Okay. So instead of 100, let me consider it as 115 for our easy calculation purpose. What is this? 115. Now even this also I have to change. Okay, so 115. So ultimately what is the total? The total is going to be 200. Clear? 85 plus 115 is going to give you 200. Then what is your normal loss? 10% of your input. That means 200 into 10% is going to give you 20 kgs. So your normal loss is 20 kgs. So if I consider the same thing, normal loss will be realized. In the previous process, what was the realizable value of your normal loss? Let us see. 20 rupees per kg. Yeah, we were realizing at 20 rupees per kg. Now let me consider the same thing even here into 20 rupees per kg. Okay, so ultimately 20 into 20, you are getting your recovery of your normal loss as 400 rupees. Now how much you should get? Of my 200, so the total input was 200, 20 kgs was lost. What happened? 20 kgs should be your loss. See, normal loss is what is your expected loss. Your expectation of loss is 20. Then you should get what? 180 kgs. You should get your output as 180. But you have not got 180. You got 185 kgs. You got 185 kgs. Means what? There is something now called as abnormal gain. Now let me, before proceeding, give a definition for your abnormal gain. Okay, in the next page I will be giving the definition of your abnormal gain. Now let us see what is the definition of your abnormal gain. Abnormal gain. See, abnormal gain, you are not gaining more, you are not gaining anything, but what is happening? Your actual loss is less than your expected loss. See, actual loss is less than your expected loss. Now, till now we know there are two types of losses. One is something called as your normal loss, other is something called as your abnormal loss. Now what I am telling? I am telling something that your expected loss is one word which I had used, actual loss is the other word which I had used. Now your normal loss is something which is nothing but your expected. My expectation is different, my actual is different. So here, when what is the meaning of your normal gain? Normal gain is nothing but whenever your actual loss less than, okay, actual loss less than your expected loss. That means whenever your actual loss less than your normal loss, there you will be getting something called as abnormal gain. How you will be getting your abnormal gain? The abnormal gain is nothing but the difference between your your actual loss is less than expected loss. Then ultimately what is more? Expected loss is more. So your abnormal gain is nothing but your normal loss minus something called as your actual loss is going to give you your abnormal gain. Now let us come back to the problem. Now here what happened? My expected loss is 20. My expected loss was 20. See, as I said, normal loss, or I can call that as what? Expected loss. What is my normal loss or expected loss? 20 kgs. What is my actual loss? How do I determine my actual loss? Actual loss is nothing but the units introduced. You had introduced 200 kgs. You had obtained 185 kgs. That means what? If I introduce 200 kgs, I am getting 185 kgs. That means what is my actual loss there? 15 kgs is my actual loss. If my actual loss is less than my expected loss, again, actual loss less than expected loss, the difference is going to be something called as your abnormal gain. Reverse happens. That means what? Whenever actual loss greater than your normal loss, okay, actual loss greater than normal loss, the difference is something called as your abnormal loss. Whenever actual loss less than the normal loss, the difference is abnormal gain. Whenever actual loss greater than the normal loss, the difference is said to be called as your abnormal loss. Now let us confirm this in your process 1. Let us go back to the process 1 account. There we'll try to understand. Okay. Now if we go and see here, what was my input? My input was 100. Okay. What was my output? 85. So what is my actual loss? If I try to calculate my actual loss, 100 minus 85, how much you are getting? You are getting 15 kgs as your actual loss. What is your expected or normal loss? Your normal loss was 10 kgs. See what I had mentioned, whenever actual loss greater than normal loss, then you will be getting something called as your abnormal loss. Actual loss was 15 kgs, normal loss was 10 kgs, so ultimately 15 minus 10, the 5 is going to be something called as abnormal loss. Whereas reverse happens. What is reverse? Actual loss is less than your normal loss, then ultimately the difference is going to be something called as your abnormal gain. So the same thing happens here. Actual loss is 15, expected loss is 20, the difference is what? 5 kgs, which is nothing but something called as your abnormal gain. You are not gaining something more, you are losing less than what is expected. That's what is something called as your abnormal gain. Now let us go back to the process 2. Now abnormal loss will be on the credit side, abnormal gain will be on the debit side. What is the units you are getting? 5 kg is nothing but your total units of your abnormal gain. Now, as you had determined the value of your abnormal loss, I need to also determine the value of my abnormal gain. Now, let us try to see value of your abnormal loss. Let us try to do it. Valuation of abnormal gain. Valuation of abnormal gain. So let us try to determine valuation of your abnormal gain. Same process, there is no difference in process. Okay, step number 1. What is my step number 1? Same, total expenses. Do the total of your expenses. Now let us go back to the problem and see what is the total of my expenses there. What is the total? 37,589 plus 5,000 plus 10,000 plus 17,000. So I need to add up everything. So let us do this in your calculator. Let us see what we can do. 37,589 plus 5,000 is the cost of material you are adding, plus 10,000 is the labor cost, plus 17,000 is nothing but the overhead cost. So total put together you are having 69,589. So let us come here and add it as your 69,589. So what are the things we have added there? We have added your overheads 17,000. We have added your labor cost 10,000. Okay, we have added your material cost adding in your process, which is nothing but 5,000, and we have also added the process 1 37,589. This entire total is something called as the step number 1. There is no change which is going to happen in your step number 2. Step number 2 is what? Realizable value of normal loss. Realizable value of normal loss we need to consider. So now I need to consider my realizable value of my normal loss. What was your normal loss? 20 kgs was your normal loss. And what is the realizable value? 1 kg can be sold at 20 rupees. So ultimately what is your recovery? 400 rupees is nothing but your recovery. So ultimately step number 2, the value is going to be 400. Step number 3 remains the same. What is your step number 3? Step number 1 minus step number 2 is going to be called as your step number 3. Now let us see what is the values which you are getting there. 69,589 minus 400, the difference is going to give you 69,189 rupees is nothing but your step number 3. Then comes your step number 4. What is your step number 4? Total of quantity in debit side other than abnormal gain. So I should not consider the abnormal gain. Why? Because we are trying to do the valuation of your abnormal gain. So that is the reason I should not include the quantity of my abnormal gain. So if we go to the problem, what is your debit total, debit unit total other than your abnormal gain? 85 plus 115, that gives you 200. So ultimately take the total as your 200. Okay, so what we have done, total of quantity in the debit side other than your abnormal gain is giving you something called as 200. I am getting 200 here. So we got 200 kgs. Okay, now let us move on to step 5. What is your step number 5? Step 5 is nothing but take your normal loss quantity. What is your normal loss quantity? 20 kgs. So take that as 20 kgs. So 200 minus 20, how much you are getting? You are getting that as 180. So ultimately that's nothing but your step number 6 is something which is nothing but your step 4 minus step 5. So step 4 minus step 5 is going to give me 180. That's what is nothing but your step 6. Then step number 7 remains the same. What is your step number 7? Step number 7 is something step 3 divided by step 6. Step 3 divided by step 6. What is step 3? 69,189 is my step 3. What is step 6? 180 is nothing but my step 6. Now what we are trying to do? We are trying to arrive at cost per kg. Now we got something called as cost per kg. Let us take our calculator. There we'll try to calculate 69,189. 69,189 divided by 180, that is going to give you 384.38. So what you are getting? 384.38 rupees per kg. Rupees per kg is the value. Now finally step number 8 also remains the same. What is 8? Step 7 into abnormal gain quantity. What is your abnormal gain quantity? 5 kgs. So 384.38 into 5. If I multiply this with 5, I'll be getting something called as 1921.91, or simply round off to 1922. Now let us get back to your process 2 account. 1922. In the process account, I need to consider here 1922. Let me write it again. The value is what there? The value is nothing but 1922. 1922 rounded off. I am simply rounded off to this value. Now I need to close this account here. So now what I should do? 185 into what? 185 kgs. Just now we had arrived at cost per kg. So what is the cost per kg there? The cost per kg is nothing but 384.38. Now if I come back here, 384.38. Let us come back. 384.38. So 384.38. Let us do 185 kgs, 1 kg, 384.38. So the value should be 71,110. 71,110 is the value, or you can arrive at this value as a part of your balancing figure. So if I want to do the balancing figure, say this part I am writing it down because I need a space there. Okay. I am writing it below. Normal loss 10% of input, right? That's what was there. Now let us do the totals of this. Now let us do the totals of this. Now what is the total? The total of this is what? 205. So even here I should get a total of what? 205. So even this side if you do, you will be getting the same total of your 205. Now okay, 205 is your quantity total on the credit side. Then debit side, let us see total. Let us do the total of this. See, already we have done the total. What was the total there in your step number 1 when you calculated? 69,589. 69,589. Already we have done the total. To this I need to add only the abnormal gain total. Now let us come back. 69,589. How you got? 37,589 plus 5,000 plus 10,000 plus 17,000, you will be getting 69,589. To this, as I know the value of my abnormal loss 1,922, I will add. This will give me 71,511. So you are getting 71,511. So 71,511 minus normal loss of 400 rupees is going to give me 71,111. Whereas once you multiply with this, you are getting 71,110. If you find out the balancing figure, you are getting 71,111. This is purely rounding off difference. So you should, because you need to consider it as a balancing figure, or you need to round off, because my debit total and credit total should be equal. If there is no fractions addedly, this into cost per unit will give you the same value. But as you are having some rounding off differences, you are getting this sort of scenario. Now, let us try to understand how do we prepare abnormal gain account. Okay, let us discuss on how do we prepare abnormal gain account. Let us see. Abnormal gain account. Abnormal gain account. So generally what? Same thing again. There is something called as particulars. There is something called as units. There is something called as amount. Again the same thing will happen on the credit side. Particulars, units, amount. So these are the three different columns we should maintain on the debit side as well as the credit side. Now what I have to do? On the process costing, process account, what you have done? Process 2 account was debited. You had credited something called as for abnormal gain account. Now ultimately what I have to do here? By process 2. What was the number of units? 5 kgs was your loss. 5 kgs was your gain. What was the value of your abnormal gain? 1,922. So 1,922 was your abnormal gain. Now that's what is the basic thing which I need to have. But what was my actual loss? My actual loss was 15 gauges. Okay, my actual loss was 15 gauges. Normal loss account you had considered 20 gauges. I cannot sell 20 gauges. See, try to understand the concept, because this is what is one of the most important. I can sell only 15 gauges. I cannot sell 20 gauges because my actual loss is only 15. My estimated loss was 20. My normal loss was debited with 20, but whereas I am having only 15 gauges. Now let me also open some other account for you to make you clearly understand something called as one normal loss account. In the next page I am going to open something called as one normal loss account is one other account which I should open. Now here what is there? Same columns again, particulars, units, amount on the debit side. Same thing on the credit side, particulars, units, amount. Now what you have done in your process account, if you remember what entry you are passing, you are creating the normal loss. That means what is the normal loss account to process 2 account. So ultimately in my normal loss account, what I have to do? To process 2. How many units was there? Your normal loss was 15. No, 20. Your normal loss was 20. Let us see. What was your normal loss? Normal loss was 10% of your input, which is nothing but your 20 gauges. So ultimately in my normal loss account, I have to consider what? 20 gauges. Okay. In my normal loss, I had to consider 20 gauges. What was the value you had considered there? 20 into 20, you are getting 400. But I cannot sell 20. I can sell only what? 15. Because 20 was expected, my actual is what? 15. So I will be selling only to 15 gauges. So I can recover only 300 rupees. So as you are getting cash by bank, so you are expecting 20 but you actually got 15. You cannot sell 20, you can sell only 15. So what is the value there? 300. What is the balance which is left off? 100 is the balance which is left off. So what I need to do? This has to be transferred to something called as your abnormal gain account. So I am transferring this to where? I am transferring this to abnormal gain account. So I am transferring this to my abnormal gain. How many units you are selling? 15 units you are selling. So how many units you are not able to sell? 5 units you are not able to sell. So now if I go to my abnormal gain account, there I need to mention as 2 normal loss, 5 cages. As I am not able to recover 100, I will be considering this. Now I can close my abnormal gain account. See, abnormal, if that is a loss, debit that to costing profit and loss account. If that is a gain, credit that to costing profit and loss account. So what I am going to do? I am going to transfer this to costing P&L account. Now what is the value there? 1922 is nothing but the total. So 1922 is nothing but the total. So ultimately minus 100, 1822. So the total of units is 5. The total of units is 5. So ultimately this is nothing but the balancing figure which you are going to transfer to the costing profit and loss account. Okay, so let us go into problem number 1. A product passes through 2 distinct processes before completion. The following information are available. Process 1 information is given, process 2 information is given, raw materials quantity is given, raw material cost is given, transfer to next process, normal loss is given, wages, expenses, everything is given, manufacturing overheads, everything is given, realizable value is also given. 800 units of finished goods means what? From process 1, the goods are being transferred to process 2. In process 2, you are getting something called as your finished goods. So you are getting finished goods in something called as your process 2 account. So here you are getting something called as your finished goods. So here you get your finished goods. Okay, finished goods you are getting in process 2. Now what is telling you? 800 units of finished goods was sold at a profit of 15% on the cost. So once I prepare my process 2 account, I can know what is the cost. To that I need to add 15% profit, then we are doing a sale. We'll discuss that. There is no opening stock and there is no closing stock of work in progress. That's what is the first model. Say, as clearly mentioned you, first model, you don't have any sort of opening and closing. Whenever there is a opening and closing, valuation of work in progress should be done. That's nothing but your second model that we'll discuss at a later stage. Now what is asking? He is basically asking you to prepare process 1 as well as process 2, finished goods account, normal loss account, abnormal loss, abnormal gain. Maybe you'll be getting some abnormal loss or abnormal gain, that we'll see. Now these are the 5 accounts which you should prepare, process 1 as well as process 2. Now what we'll do, let us go to here to process account. Let us open the statements. We'll start doing with the same time so that we can finish off the problem very quickly. So now first let us take the format for your process 1. So process 1 account we need to consider. As we know, what are the columns? Particulars is the one column, units or quantity is the other column, amount in rupees is the other column. This is nothing but your debit side. Same columns I should also have here, particulars, particulars, units, amount in rupees. So these are the 3 columns which we should always have in your process 1 account. Same thing let us also put in your process 2 account. Let us open both the statements at the same time. Let me open that here for you. So I am not writing the headings, you just try to write the headings, because as already it is there I am not writing, but you should write that. Okay, let me write it. Particulars, units in kgs, amount in rupees. Same thing here also, particulars, units in kgs, amount in rupees. Now let us move on to the problem there. Okay, let us see what the problem is telling. Raw materials used, it's nothing but your raw material introduced. So let us come to here. To raw materials, how many kgs? 10,000 kgs is the raw material. Yeah, 10,000. What is the kg? Price quantity per kg? 75 rupees. That means what? 10,000 into 75. So 10,000 into 75, that gives us the value. So 75. So ultimately what is the total there? 7,50,000 is the raw material cost. 7,50,000. Now transfer to next process. 9,000 units here, 8,200 here, 9,000. So what is the meaning of this? By process 2, because from process 1 you are transferring the goods to where? Process 2 account. So ultimately what should happen? To process 1, how many units were transferred? Let us see. He is mentioning you 900 units were transferred from process 1 to process 2. Now from process 1, 900 units was transferred. Ultimately process 2, output of one process becomes the input of subsequent process. So output of P1 is 9,000, input of P1 is going to be 9,000. And what is telling you? You are having finished goods. Okay, that finished goods is mentioned as what? Finished goods amounting to 8,200. So transfer to next process or transfer to finished goods account. So from process 2 you are transferring that to where? Finished goods account. How many units you are transferring? 8,200 units. That's what is the information given. Then what? Normal loss on input is 5%, normal loss on input is 10%. Now let us move here. Normal loss, by normal loss is what? 5% on your input. 5% on your input. What is my input? 10,000 is my input. On the 10,000, if I want to consider 5%, what is the value? So 10,000 into 5% is going to give you 500 units. So now your normal loss is nothing but 500 units. Now here what? Next process, 10% on the input is nothing but your normal loss. So what is your input here? 9,000 is nothing but your input. By normal loss will be what? 10% on your input. So 9,000 into 10%, that is going to give you 900 kgs as your normal loss. Now this part is done. He is giving you the information of direct wages. Process 1, the direct wages is 3 lakhs. Process 2, the direct wages is 5,60,000. So here 3 lakhs is your wage cost. Here it is 5 lakhs. What is that amount? 5 lakhs 60,000. So here the amount is going to be 5 lakhs 60,000. So what is this? 2 wages. 2 wages, or you can also consider as 2 labor. So that part is done in both the process, 3 lakhs and 5 lakhs 60. Now what is your direct expenses? 50% of your wages is going to be your direct expenses, 65% of your direct wage is going to be your direct expense. So here you are also having something called as your direct expenses. 50% on direct wages. What is your direct wages? 3 lakhs. 3 lakhs into 50% is what? 1,50,000 is nothing but my expenses, direct expenses. Coming to the next process, what is mentioning here? 65%. Now let us come here to something called as expenses. 65% on wages. What is your wages? 5,60,000. On that 5,60,000, what is your direct expenses? 65% is nothing but your direct expenses. So 3,64,000 is nothing but your direct expenses. Now apart from this is also telling you you are having manufacturing overheads 25 and 15%. Now let us come here to manufacturing overheads, how much? 25% and 15%. So this is 25% on direct wages, and here 15% on direct wages. Okay, to manufacturing overheads. So now 1,50,000. So 1,50,000 into 25%. That gives us 37,500. Here what? Okay, 3 lakhs into 25%. Sorry, the wage is what? 3 lakhs. 3 lakhs into 25%, right? One second. The wages is 3 lakhs. 3 lakhs into 25% amounting to 75,000. This is wrong. So ultimately the manufacturing overheads is what? 25% of your wages. As the wages is 3 lakhs, 3 lakhs into 25% is going to give you 75,000. 75,000. So you'll be getting 75,000 as the value there. So now let us consider it as 75,000. Now what about this? Next process, direct wages is 5,60,000. On the 5,60,000, 15% is nothing but your manufacturing cost. So 5,60,000 into 15% is going to give you 84,000. So manufacturing wages is what? 15% of your direct wages. So 5,60,000 into 15% is going to give you 84,000 as your manufacturing overhead. So we have done up to here. Realizable value. Now let us come here. Realizable value is what? 13.5. So here 13.5, that means 500 into 13.5 is nothing but the realizable value of your normal loss. So 500 kgs, each kg you can sell at 13.5, thereby you will be realizing something called as 6,750 rupees. Then for the other process, 145 rupees is nothing but the value. Now let us come here. 900 into 145 rupees, because the realizable value is 145. So ultimately what? 900 into 145 is going to give you what? 1,30,500. So 1,30,500 is the value. 900 into 145. Is 145? Yeah, it is 145. So 900 into 145, 1,30,500 is the value. Now we have done till here. Now you had introduced 10,000 gauges. You got 9,000 kgs. You are expecting a loss of 900. You got a loss of more than 900. See again, let me again explain the concept of your abnormal loss as well as your abnormal gain. What is your actual loss? If I try to find out my actual loss, 10,000 minus 9,000. I had introduced 10,000, got only 9,000 kgs as my output. So ultimately 1,000 kgs is my actual loss. What is my normal loss? My normal loss was 500. Whenever actual loss greater than normal loss, the difference is something called as your abnormal loss. So in the problem, in process 1, you have something called as your abnormal loss. You do this as a part of your working out number 1. Now what is the units? My abnormal loss units is nothing but 500. This value will try to determine and will bring it here. Now in the problem, what is asking? See, all the working notes we should do at the last. First we should give the examiner whatever is asking. He is asking process 1, process 2 that we are doing. Then immediately let us draw the format for your finished goods account. Let us open the format for your finished goods account here. Okay, finished goods account. Finished goods account is the other account which we need to prepare. So always what? Particulars, units, amount. Same thing on the credit side also. Particulars, units, amount. That's what is the second account, third, which is asking. Then he is asking you to prepare normal loss account is the other one. Normal loss account is the other one which is asking you to prepare. Same thing again here. Particulars, units, amount, particulars, units as well as amount. Then he is also asking you to prepare your abnormal loss account, abnormal gain account as well. Abnormal loss here and abnormal gain account should be here. So these are the 4 accounts which is asking. Again, common, particulars, units, amount, particulars, units, coming to here amount. Same thing here also, particulars, units, amount, particulars, units, amount. So these are the 4 other ledgers we need to open. Now let us start with your working notes. So in your working notes, first working note is nothing but your working note number 1. What is that? Abnormal loss for what? Process 1. Calculation of abnormal loss for your process 1. We know that we need to apply 8 steps. Go to step number 1. What is your step number 1? Total expenditure. Whatever debit you are having, do the total of the debit. The total is nothing but your total expenditure. Let us go to your process 1 account. So what is the totals there? 7,50,000, 7,50,000 plus 3 lakhs. 3 lakhs is nothing but your wages. Plus there is a direct expenses amounting to 1,50,000. Plus there is a manufacturing overheads amounting to 75,000. The total here you are getting 12,75,000 is nothing but the total. So here also my total should be what? 12,75,000 should be the total. Now let us go to your working note number 1. There take the step number 1 as what? 12,75,000. Let us take this as your step number 1. So step number 1, 12,75,000 is nothing but total of your debit. Then what is my step number 2? Step number 2 is nothing but realizable value of scrap. So already we have done the calculation and taken in the columns there. So first let us do for process 1. What is the realizable value? 6,750. So 6,750 is the realizable value. So let us bring it here and take it here as 6,750. Then comes your step number 3. What is your step number 3? Step number 3 is nothing but step 1 minus step 2, which is 12,75,000 minus 6,750 is going to give you something called as 12,68,250. So 12,68,250 is nothing but your step number 3. Then we need to take something called as your step number 4. What is your step number 4? Step number 4 is nothing but your normal step number 4 is something called as your total quantity in debit side other than abnormal gain. So in the first process we don't have any abnormal gain, we are having only abnormal loss. So the total of the debit column we can bring it here. So what is the total debit there? 10,000 units is nothing but the total units introduced. So ultimately I will be considering here as what? Abnormal total debit quantity is coming to 10,000. Then what is your step number 5? Step number 5 is nothing but normal loss quantity. Normal loss quantity is 5% of your input, which is nothing but 500. Then you are coming to step number 6. What is step number 6? Step number 6 is nothing but step 4 minus step 5. So 4 minus 5, 10,000 minus 500, that is going to give you 9,500, which is nothing but your step number 6. Then we'll be moving on to something called as was step number 7. What is your step number 7 there? Step number 7 is nothing but step 3 divided by step 6. What is 3? 12,68,250 divided by something called as 9,500. So 12,68,250 divided by 9,500. Once again, so 12,68,250 divided by 9,500 is going to give you 133.5. That's what is nothing but your step number 7. Then comes your last step for calculation of your abnormal loss, which is nothing but your step number 8, which is nothing but your step 7 into your abnormal loss. So step 7, 133.5. Now what is your abnormal loss? If you go back to the process 1, there we have already considered abnormal loss as what? 500. So ultimately into 500, if we do this, multiply with your 500. Now I need to multiply this with 500 into 500 gives you the value. So let us see, 133.5 into 500 gives you 66,750 as the value of your abnormal loss. So 66,750. Now let us come to the process 1. Take it here as 66,750. Now ultimately, as there is no fraction, directly we can get the value, or you can also do the balancing figure. 9,000 units is the output, into 1 unit cost is what? 133.5. so 900 into 133.5 gives us what? 900 into 133.5 gives you 12 lakhs 1,500, or you can take this as your balancing figure. Now as I had brought the quantity, I should also bring the cost. Now let us bring the cost here. 12 lakhs 1,500. So 12 lakhs 1,500 is the total cost which I should bring down. Now you are introducing 9,000. You are expecting a loss of 900. See, let me put it here in the working notes. See, this part you need not show. I am just purely explaining for your point here. Now 9,000 was the input in the process. What was the output there? The output there was 8,200. So now if we go back, you are having an actual output. Your actual output is 8,200. What was your expected loss? Your expected loss, which is nothing but your normal loss. So what is your expected loss? You are expecting a loss of 10%. That means you are expecting a loss of 900. Thereby you should get 8,100, but you got more. Okay, or let me put it differently. Okay, first let us calculate your actual loss. 9,000 kgs you are introducing. So as you are introducing 9,000 kgs, so ultimately what is your output? Your actual output, if you see, 8,200 is your actual output. Now that means what? 9,000 kgs you are introducing. Your actual output is 8,000. That means what is this 800? Actual loss is nothing but 800. Now what is your expected loss? Expected loss is nothing but your normal loss. What is your normal loss? 900 is nothing but your normal loss. Whenever actual loss less than your normal loss, what is the situation called as? That situation is something called as your abnormal gain. What is the abnormal gain? Which is nothing but your normal loss minus actual loss. What is your normal loss? The normal loss was 900. What was your actual loss? 800. So what is the difference? 100 is the difference. So in the problem, in the next process, you are having an abnormal gain of what? 100 is nothing but the abnormal gain you have. So I have to consider 100 rupees here as to abnormal gain. show the entire calculation as a part of your working note number 2. There you calculate and bring the values here. Calculation remains the same as your abnormal loss. Now let us do that as well. Now let us move on to working note number 2. What is working note number 2? Calculation of abnormal gain for process 2. Step number 1 is same. Total expenses. You do the total of your expenses. Go back to the process 2 account. There, what is the totals I need to consider? There I need to consider everything. Process 1. What is the total value? 12 lakhs 1,500 is the total value. 12 lakhs 1,500. Plus you are also incurring a wages of 5,60,000. So I need to add 5,60,000. You are incurring direct expenses 3,64,000. Plus you are also incurring something called as your manufacturing overheads, which is 15% of the wages. 84,000 is the total value. So the total is coming to 22 lakhs 9,500. So let us come to the working notes there. Okay, so the total expense is what? 22 lakhs 9,500 is the total. Second step. What is second step? Consider realizable value of scrap. Already we have calculated that and consider that in the credit side of your process 2 account. Now let us see what is the total there. The value of that is 1,30,500. So now let us come back to your working sheet there. So what is that? 1,30,500. Now 22 lakhs 9,500 minus 1,30,500, that is going to be your step number 3. So what you are doing, you are trying to take the difference of these two. The difference of what? 20 lakhs 9,500 minus 1,30,500. The difference is 20 lakhs 79,000, which is nothing but your step number 3. What is step number 3? Step number 3 is nothing but step number 1 minus step number 2. That's what is something called as your step number 3. Then we'll be going to step number 4. What is your step number 4? Total quantity on debit other than abnormal gain. If you have abnormal gain, the total should not be considered. Other than abnormal gain, whatever total you are having on the debit side, the total should be considered. Now let us go to the process 2 account and see what is happening there. Only one thing is there, 9,000. So 9,000, I should not consider the abnormal gain. That's the reason we'll be considering only 9,000. So 9,000 kgs is nothing but my total quantity on the debit side. That's what is your step number 4. Then comes your step number 5, which is nothing but your normal loss quantity. What the problem says, normal loss quantity is nothing but 10% of the input. Sorry, how much? I think 5%. Let us see. 10%. So 900 is nothing but your normal loss. So let us see here. 900 is nothing but my normal loss. Then we'll be arriving at step number 6. Step number 6 is very simple. 4 minus 5. 9,000 minus 900, that gives you what? 8,100 as your step number 6. Then step number 7. What is step number 7? Step number 7 is nothing but step 3 divided by step 6. What is step 3? 20 lakhs 79,000 divided by 8,100. So 20 lakhs 79,000. 20 lakhs 79,000 divided by 8,100. So 20 lakhs 79,000 divided by 8,100 is going to give you 256.66. Let us round off to 25.67, or you can round off to 257 as well. Then step number 8 is nothing but step 7 into abnormal gain quantity. What is the abnormal gain quantity? 100 is the abnormal gain quantity into step number 7, which is going to be this. So ultimately how much you are getting into 100, if you do, you'll be getting something called as 25,667. That's what is the abnormal gain. Now I need to consider 25,667 in my process 2 account. Let us go there. 25,667. Now once you close this account, you will be getting here as your balancing figure. You try to finish this off. So ultimately you will be getting something called as, okay, let me do, because I need this information for the finished goods account. So let me close this here. Now let us do the balancing figure. Already the cost of this we know. So let us do the debits total. From that we will reduce this. Yeah. What is the debit total? 12,68,250. No, 12,75,000 is the total expenses. To this I need to add, what is my abnormal gain there? Abnormal gain 66,750. So what is happening? 12,75,000 is your total expenses. From that to that I had added my abnormal gain 66,750. So ultimately the total is going to be 13,41,750. So let us come back here. The total is what? 13 lakhs. Okay, let me write it here. Okay, 13 lakhs 65,000, sorry, 13 lakhs 41,750. 13 lakhs 41,750. Same total has to be considered here. 13 lakhs 41,750. That's what is the total. Now I need to do the balancing figure. 13 lakhs 41,750. 41,750 minus 1,30,500. 13 lakhs 41,750 minus 1,30,500. That gives you 12 lakhs 11,250 as the balancing figure. 12 lakhs 11,250 is the balancing figure, which you need to take that to where? Finished goods account. Now let us move on to the next account. What? To what? Process 2. Process 2. How many units? 8,200 units you are taking that to finished goods account. So ultimately 8,200 I will consider. Now what is mentioning you? The value which had added is what? 12 lakhs 11,250 is nothing but the values you had considered. Now what you are doing? You are doing a sale, as the units are sold by bank. By bank. But the problem says all the units are not sold. He is telling you 800 units are sold at a profit of 15% on the cost. You are not selling everything. You are selling only 800 units has been sold. Remaining units are lying with you as a part of your stock. So the remaining units is what? Stock. So ultimately balance carried down. How many units you had sold? 800 units. Sorry, 8,000 units has been sold. Now we'll do the calculation at what profit you had sold this. This will try to calculate at a later stage. So of 8,200, what you have done? 8,000 units were sold. Then ultimately how many units were there? 200 units were there. Now the 200 units will be valued at what? Already we have calculated the price here. 200 units will be valued at the price of what? 256.67. So 256.67 is the valuation. 256.67. Let us see. Into 256.67. If I multiply, what is the value which I am getting? 200 into 256.67. 256.67 is giving me 51,334 rupees. 51,334 rupees is the value. So ultimately the balance, now here what I need to do? I need to do the value of this. I'll be putting the value here. Whatever difference you get, The difference is what? The profit which you are getting, that profit should be transferred to your costing profit and loss account. So I need to close my account. Once I do the working note number 3, then the balance will be transferred to your profit and loss account. Now let us see how we can calculate that. Okay, working note number 3. So let me put it here. Working note number 3. Calculation of sales value. So what is mentioning you? Total cost. Let us consider. What is the total cost? 8,000 units you are selling. What is the cost of one unit? 256.67 is the cost. Now what is the total cost of this 8,000? Let us try to understand. 8,000 into 256.67 is going to give you 20 lakhs. What is this? 20 lakhs 53,360. 20 lakhs 53,360 is the total cost. To this, the problem specifies 15% of profit on cost. So profit is what? Profit 15% on cost. What is the profit there? The profit is mentioned as 15%. Profit is nothing but 15% on cost. What is your cost? 20 lakhs 53,360 is nothing but my cost. Into 15% is going to give me a profit of 3,08,004. The total is what? 2,53,360 plus 3,08,004 is going to give you 23,61,364. 23,61,364 is nothing but the cost. Total sale value. This is nothing but your sale value. Now let us move on to your finished goods account. Either you can consider here as buy bank or you can transfer that to sales account. So preferably let us transfer that to sales, not buy bank. Let us use the word sales. Okay. Sales. By sales, 8,000 units are sold at 23,61,364. Now if we try to close the account, 23 lakhs let us say 23 lakhs 61,364 plus 51,334, the total will be 24 lakhs 12,698. So even here I should have a total of 24 lakhs 12,698 is my total. Now of this, minus 12 lakhs 11,250 if I do, I'll be getting something which is nothing but 12 lakhs 1,448. So this will be called as what? Cost of goods sold. So this will be transferred to something called as what? Costing profit and loss account. I will transfer the sales value to my costing profit and loss account and will also transfer this to the costing profit and loss account. Ultimately, that's what is nothing but your summary of your finished goods account. Now he is asking you to do something called as one normal loss account. So now if you go to the process 1, you are crediting your process 1 with what? 500. So ultimately what I should do here? To process 1. What is my normal loss? 500 units was my normal loss. Is it 500? Yeah, 500 units was my normal loss. The realizable value is what? 6,750. So ultimately here I will consider it as 6,750. You are selling this, you are realizing buy bank 500, amount is nothing but 750. Thereby your normal loss account for process 1 is closed. Then process 2. In process 2 also you are incurring some normal loss. What is the normal loss there? I think it is 900. So 900 is nothing but your normal loss value, and 900, and what is the value? 1,30,500 is the value of this. You cannot sell entire 900. You can sell only what? 800 is the only thing which you can sell. So you can sell only what? 800. Okay, so 800, remaining 100 is what? Normal loss. So the remaining 100 is nothing but your abnormal gain. So what I need to do? Buy abnormal gain 100. Okay, what is the value? 100 into, I think, 145 into 145. So 100 into 145 should be transferred to your abnormal gain account. Now let us see. 100 into 145 is going to give you 14,500. Remaining 800, what you do? You can sell it. Okay, let me put it here separately because I need to prepare their other account also. Yeah, now okay, 100 into 145, that is going to give you 14,500. Now 800 units are there. This 800 units, what I can sell at 145, which gives me a realizable value of 1,16,000. What is this? This can be sold by bank. With this, what happened? Your abnormal loss account is totally closed. Abnormal loss you are having only process 1. So what I will do? Process 1 account will be debited. What is your abnormal loss? Abnormal loss was 500 units. Now let us go here. Take your abnormal loss units as 500. What is the value of your abnormal loss? The value of your abnormal loss is 66,750. So now let us consider it as what? 66,750. Now let us come here. In the amount side, 66,750. What we are doing? I can realize, I can sell these 500 units. Okay, as this is process 1, at what price I can sell? 13.5. I can sell this at 13.5. So ultimately 500 into 13.5, I can recover 6,750. My loss was what? My loss was 66,750. Of that I can recover 6,750. So what is my net loss there? Net loss is nothing but 60,000. What we will do? This 60,000 will be transferred to costing P&L account, which is nothing but your balancing figure. With this, what? Abnormal loss account is also closed. Abnormal gain you are having in your process 2 account. So what I will do? I will credit my process 2. I mean, as you are debiting your process 2 account, I will credit my process account. Okay, we'll be crediting your process account there. Now we'll be creating your process account there. Now what is your abnormal gain? 100 kgs was your abnormal gain. What is the value of your abnormal gain? 25,667. So let us come here, take the amount as 25,667. But what you had done? You had considered your normal loss as 900, whereas your loss is not 900. Your loss is only 100. So what I should do? I had to transfer a part of my loss to abnormal gain. So that's the reason what you had on your normal loss account, by abnormal gain. So coming to normal gain account, what I have to do? To normal loss, how many units? 100 units. What is the value? 14,500 is the value. Now whatever balance you will be getting, that balance will be transferred to your costing profit and loss account. So I have to transfer this to where? Costing profit and loss account I have to transfer. So same case here. So ultimately what you are doing in the finished goods, whatever balancing figure you will be getting, that will be transferred to costing profit and loss account. Abnormal loss account also, whatever balancing figure you will get, that will be transferred to your costing profit and loss account. So here 8,000 units was sold. Okay, 8,000 units was sold, and the cost of that was coming to this, and still you are having a balance of this. So ultimately the difference is nothing but the profit which you are going to earn. Okay, now let us see the balancing figure here. Now what is the balancing figure? 25,667 minus 14,500. So this gives you 11,167. So this is the amount which you are supposed to transfer to the costing profit and loss account. That's it. So what I will do in this model, I will give you another 4 or 5 problems. I want you to practice that other 4 or 5 problems. So with that I can say the first model of this chapter is set to be complete. Okay, small correction in the process 2. See, what is that? Here we had done the total mistake. There is a total mistake here. Let us see what is a total mistake. See, basically the debit balance is what? 12 lakhs 1,500. 12 lakhs 1,500 plus 5 lakh 60,000 plus 5 lakh 60,000 plus 3 lakh 64,000, 3 lakh 64,000 plus 84,000 plus your abnormal gain as what? 25,667. So 25,667, that should give you 22 lakhs, let us see. The total should be 22 lakhs 35,167. Let us see. Okay, total should be 22 lakhs 35,167. Same case here, 22 lakhs 35,167. Now 22 lakhs 35,167, 22 lakhs 35,167 minus the scrap value 1,30,500, that is going to give me a value of 21 lakhs 4,667. So here what will be there? The value of the finished goods is something which is nothing but 21 lakhs 4,667. Okay, 21 lakhs 4,667 was the balancing figure. Now this same thing should be reflected in your finished goods account. Now if we go to the finished goods account, so here also I should change the value. So now finished goods account, entire thing will change. Let us see, let me erase completely. So especially this side. Okay, so what is the value which you are bringing from process 2 account? Process 2 account you are bringing 21 lakhs 4,667. Now if I close this balance, let us see, this total is right, 24 lakhs 12,698. Okay, 24 lakhs 12,698 minus this 20 lakhs 4,667 is going to give you a profit of 3 lakhs 8,031. Or simply what you can do, you can leave the balancing figure. That balancing figure will be transferred to something called as cost of sales. Instead of transferring that to sales, you can transfer that to cost of the sales. Then ultimately what will happen? This minus this value, the difference is going to be something called as cost of sales. Now this is the profit which you are getting. 3 lakhs 8,031 is nothing but the net profit which you get. Okay, 3 lakhs 8,000. So if you see here, this is nothing but the same profit. 3 lakhs 8,000. What is the exact value you got? 3 lakhs 8,031. This is nothing but the rounding of difference. So you should get the same exact profit. Earlier, due to the calculation mistake, there was some sort of error. Just now, kindly change this in your answer sheet. Clear?